Stuart, back for another update. It's been about 3 weeks since we last spoke. A few tough games.
Yeah.
First started away to Newton Grange in the league.
Yeah.
How did that one go?
Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought we played really well. I think a 2-1 kind of suggests it was ebb and flow and kind of end to end. We dominated a lot of the ball and I thought we were very good. My only disappointment probably was that we probably weren't as clinical as we could have been at certain opportunities in the game. Harris hasn't had a lot to do that night. And I'd have liked us to be more comfortable. With that being said, it was a really good performance. I thought we moved the ball really well. And it's probably a different type of performance to the two that followed, clearly. But I feel what we've done really well this year is we're able to change the way we play to go and suit the game, suit the opposition, and that comes from having players who want to listen and take our information. So again, the boys deserve a lot of credit for that. But it was another difficult game, and we said to them beforehand we couldn't afford the game to be like the one here, where it was end to end like a basketball game, 6-3. So we dominated it. I felt we deserved to win. But as I say, I'd like this to be a little bit more clinical, I say, because they scored from a penalty with about 3 or 4 minutes to play probably, and the end of the game was a bit worrying. So we got off the line, but I felt a performance warranted a bit more of a commanding looking scoreline, if that makes sense.
And your captain, leading by example that night, Adam man of the match.
Adam was good. To be honest, and he won't thank me for saying this, but I felt that was an accumulation award almost, because I think he's been really, really good recently, where he probably hasn't had the recognition. I think he's had something like 16 assists this season, a lot for set plays, but I don't think enough is probably recognised on that, because his set play delivery is ridiculous. It's very, very good. But himself on the pitch, I feel that he's, football wise, I feel he's gone up a wee bit this year. He's dominating games, he's making better choices in possession, and I think he's physically using his body more as well. So, and that's part of his learning as an 18-year-old man. So I feel he's made good progress, and again I thought he was very good that night. He sets up Jack's goal with a brilliant free kick that's put in a great area. So very good performance, but he's been good recently in general.
The games certainly don't get any easier, Stuart. It was a home tie to Spartans.
I don't know where we start with that, to be honest. I just feel it probably is not surreal still, but I felt I couldn't be proud of that group of players in terms of their efforts and what they put into it. I think it's fair to say that Spartans had lion's share of possession, but even in the game, Jake hasn't been peppered with saves to make. They've had a lot of possession, they've had a lot of crosses in the box, they've had a lot of set pieces we've had to go and defend, but Jake's not made 5 or 6 saves in open play. When they score early on, they score a great goal. And again, to be honest, our reaction to that just summed us group up. Didn't feel sorry for ourselves. Got the other end of the park, get a corner, and Lyle is brilliant to set up the throw in properly. Him and Callum combine really well. Lyle plays a super ball in, and Daniel scores a really good header. It's a great goal. And from their point of view, it's probably frustrating in the sense that it's come for a set piece, and the shout that I heard came from nothing, etc. But in the game itself, even to that point, Kieran had a header, Dan was unlucky with a shot. We'd had a couple of opportunities, so I felt in the game itself, I thought we posed a threat on the break. But that, as I said earlier, I think that's what's really good about this team, is that we've got individuals that are willing to listen and have got the ability as players to carry out different instructions and play in certain ways. And I feel in football that's really important. I don't believe that players should be brought up and taught to play one way or only be able to play one way, and the boys showed that. They were exceptional. They were absolutely exceptional. And I generally, whilst it sounds all fairy tale and cheesy, I can't put into words how much I think they actually put into that game. I don't know generally how much they believed they could win it. Again, we try to fill them as much belief and confidence as we could in the build up in the week. But when we actually stepped foot in the park, they were magnificent, absolutely magnificent. When it came to penalties, the boys showed some great composure. Leo's taken, Ali's taken, Adam, Daniel, was that everyone I think it was, but particularly these boys who I probably never played in a game of that magnitude or against that kind of set opposition, stayed cool and took good penalties. Dan was unlucky, goalie made a good save, and then Big Jake saves these penalties. Again, a laddie, just so much time for in terms of his aptitude to listen and learn. He deserves that moment himself. So honestly priceless, but it probably hasn't quite sunk in yet what we achieved that night, because it just creates memories forever, I think.
Young Finlay Goldie, man of the match again that night.
Aye, I just, particularly to put in perspective, like the opposition player that Finn was up against, 2 years older, having previously been in the Aberdeen Academy. Finn's 2 years younger. Finn started his youth career in Dunbar Colts. He played at Harrington, first division last season. He come and joined us, and he's able to churn out that type of performance. It's just, he was absolutely exceptional. It really was. And to go and put that form of performance in and match the levels that Spartans showed, which for me are one of the best under 20 sides around. They play lovely football. They're a good side full of great players. But our boys matched that. It probably puts in perspective how well that group of players did that night. They were exceptional. I can't sing their praise enough.
You've touched upon it already, the sort of significance of this result, but it must give yourself and the players such belief going into more games further on the season and stuff like that.
I think that when you talk about progress, etc., you try and find benchmarks to compare it against to find that progress, but a significant, like that type of result in itself just shows progress. Last season we played Spartans and lost 5-0 at New Countess Park, and now we beat them on penalties, and it just shows in terms of how much this group has listened and learned and improved over the last 12 months. It's easy for me to say that vocally, but to actually put that in perspective, that's not easy, and the players deserve so much credit for that in terms of what they put into training sessions, what they put into every match. They're on some run of form now, but they've got that, and they're getting that because of what they're putting into everything they do at the minute. It's just a magic night, and one that probably will stay with us for a long time, I think.
And following that, it was a local derby away at Harrington.
Another game where, looking on these games, and particularly the fixtures that we still got to go, not a daunting one, but one that we knew we had to come and turn up and perform, which we did. We did. First half we were 5-1 up, and I thought we were tremendous, despite being reminded on kind of a match report by Harrington that I think it was like 23-4 aggregate score before we played them. I felt that probably reflected in our first half performance in terms of we had fire in the belly. We knew that we had to make a change. We knew we had to turn up on Friday and put in a mark. And we know the last few times we played Harrington, we haven't been as good as we could have been. I think the home game we played here, I said to the boys I'd do things differently, and then we played them at Whittingham Drive in the Cup. I don't think we turned up, which was frustrating. But again, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but since we last played them, the boys have been unbeaten in 10, and that in itself is easy to say, but to go on that sort of run of form is exceptional. It really is. And the boys deserve a lot of credit to that, to not only know the fact that going into Friday, the last time we were beaten by Harrington, to go and turn them over and create a 13-point gap now between the sides. It's pretty good. I felt we dominated the first half. Second half, Harrington were a lot better. I felt the first 15-20 minutes we had to get through a bit of a spell. Again, Harris has made one fantastic save to go and put it over the bar. They scored 2 penalties, but with that being said, as the score finishes 6-3, we hit the bar, we hit the post with a disallowed goal, and we have a penalty turned down in the first half. So I feel we thoroughly deserved the victory, and I think most watching would probably agree. I thought it was a really, really good, mature performance, which probably sums up the last 10 games that we've played.
Thomas Allen, man of the match that night.
T was brilliant. Again, he's playing, he probably hated me when I named the team on Friday again, but he's not a left back, like he's a left side centre half, but sometimes you have to play in positions and to counteract opposition players. So for example, he played left back against Spartans to kind of deal with to deal with the boy who played right wing. He's a good player, and albeit I thought Harrington might be a wee bit different in terms of who Thomas faced. I thought he did really well out there on Friday. He's a natural athlete. I think he clocked up something like 30 kilometres an hour, which is ridiculous for someone who's actually a centre half. He offers going forward. He's technically very good. He's powerful. He's aggressive. He's a proper player, and he, again, for someone who's 16, has settled in really well. And I actually posted on social media, I think it was his second man of the matches. I think it's actually third, which, considering it's his first season at 20s, is very, very good going. Good lad. He wants to improve. Always asking for the view, all that stuff. But he's been really good for us. And again, he was a good performance. Again, an unfamiliar position on Friday. So very well done.
Like Spartans, it just seems like that's such a significant result for the remainder of the season.
I feel it's funny because we've, other than Musselburgh, we still play Musselburgh twice this year, but we couldn't get a point off from last season. Harrington won the last sides in the league that we've never beaten. Okay, we haven't beaten Whitehall this year, but we beat them on a friendly this year. But in terms of mentality and kind of mindset, I feel sometimes it's hard to if players know the last few times we've been beaten heavily off them, then it is hard to sometimes really get that belief across, and that's what I think this win and run has done, is respectfully the boys know that they can compete with anyone, they can compete with anyone, and I think in football that's really important. I think Kevin said it in his team talk on Saturday, which I agree with, is that I think 90% of football's played in your head. That's not a direct figure. It is so important. Mindset, mentality, and knowing you can compete with anyone is really important. And Friday's result probably signifies to us that this group's in a very, very good place.
And looking forward to the next Friday. It's a long trip along to Greenock for a quarter-final tie. Big night, and I'm going to say to the boys tonight, it's something to look forward to. Not every week you get in a quarter final, and to be in our second season at 20s and be 4 points off the top of a league and be in a quarter final, they should be really proud of themselves. But we're saying them at the moment, we've not won anything. We're in fourth in the league, which can change very quickly if you don't maintain your levels, and you can forget about how far you go in a cup if we don't perform on Friday. So it's really important that we're at it, and we are the best version of ourselves. I've got no doubt this group of players will be. Another big week ahead in training. We don't know a lot about Greenock. In fact, I know nothing about them. But I can predict that they'll be big, strong. They'll be very attacking. They seem to score a lot of goals. They beat St Anthony's, but they've been beaten off St Anthony's as well, who we defeated on the way here. So it'll be an easy-peasy game, but all I ask is my players to give everything, and I know they will, because they're an outstanding run of form at the minute. I'm looking forward to it. We've noticed there's a supporters bus heading through on Friday night.
Yeah, no, grateful again for the club for the support on that front, but it's an opportunity, and I think with my job I posted through the Dunbar Colts page as well. Also, it's not a prerequisite to play for this 20s team. Like 75% of the squad at some point have played for the Colts. So it'd be good to see as many as you can get behind the lads. I had a phone call from the crew there today, just asking for just some words about what's happening on Friday with the game, and that for me is really the one that you see people getting behind a group of players that earlier this season were mid-table, and the lads have made this run themselves, and it's nice to see people kind of take an interest and really try to support them in what we've got going on Friday. It'll be a massive night, regardless what happens. We're really proud of how far they've gone, but why not go one further and make it to a semi-final? It'd be absolutely magic.
And just finally from us, Stuart, we've sort of got a few stats that you've probably already heard, but you're unbeaten in 10, you've taken 22 points out of 24, and you've already beaten last season's points total.
Yeah. It's good going. I think I deliberately didn't mention the points total one to the boys until we'd actually matched it. I think it was a knitting game that matched it. But we've now matched last season's points total now. Well, sorry, we've now beaten that, because we're now in 39 and it was 36 last season. So
every 3 points now we're saying to the boys is progress on last season. It's progress on last season. We were 3 minutes away from probably winning 10 out of 10. Now, winning and doing well in games and getting results isn't why we're here, but I said earlier, it's an opportunity to compare and to show progress. And if you'd said to me that this group of players would have kind of picked up 22 or possible 24 points to start a new year after watching our 2 friendlies, I probably would have laughed. But I didn't think we were great in our first friendlies with some good bits, but kind of ever since we've beaten Haddington, they've listened to feedback, they've listened to information, and they deserve a lot of credit for how far they've come, because that group of players have given us everything in the last kind of 2 months, 2 and a bit months. So delighted with them. Just hopefully now we can continue to build on that and make it a very memorable season to finish off.
Well, Stuart, thanks for the update and good luck for the upcoming fixtures.
Thank you.